This video will be helpful for EFL and ESL teachers who are looking for working strategies on how to find and keep students. It is a well-known fact that the best way to get deep into something new and unfamiliar is to look at the cases. Yes, case study works. So let's do it. The first case is from the perspective of a student. Let's name our student Mary, and Mary is the beginner, and she starts her journey of learning English with Duolingo. She's persistent, and she's already got 100 days in a row, and now Mary knows some basic phrases and A1 level vocabulary. Duolingo and similar apps are okay when a learner would like to get a sense of language. However, they cannot replace teachers. I think they are just good enough to replace social media scrolling. But let's get back to our student Mary. So, Mary goes for a short trip to London, and she's sure that her knowledge of English is sufficient to order food in a cafe or to have a chat with the receptionist. And she finds herself pretty frustrated that she can't keep the conversation going. So, Mary gets back home and jots down her New Year resolution to keep learning English, but this time she will look for a teacher. So, Mary's browsing all the popular platforms like Preply and many others. And just a quick remark for all the EFL and ESL teachers, your profile must be presented on all of these platforms. Yes, I know, a registration may take time. You will not get students right away, and you will need to get prepared to your video presentation. However, that is how every business works. If you want to get income teaching English, you should take care of your marketing and ad strategies. And your profile on these platforms is one of these strategies. And we are getting back to Mary. Mary is looking for a native speaker English teacher. Everyone keeps saying that native speakers are the best. However, do not forget that not every native speaker is a teacher and able to present a structured course which is built brick by brick when a new bit of information is based on the previously learned one. It is mandatory to get TEFL and TESOL certification to get paid for teaching English. Just put it to the task as a bullet point to get TEFL and TESOL certified on your checklist on what to do to get paid for teaching English. And choose a trusted provider just like at TEFL, TESOL certification.com. So, Mary is looking for a non-expensive teacher, and she finds a girl, Laura, who is a student herself in Scotland, and the job of teaching English is her side hustle. Laura doesn't have any reviews on the platform, and Mary doesn't ask if Laura has a TEFL or TESOL certification. Mary takes 2 classes a week during 6 months. So, what are the results? Well, Mary can build sentences in present indefinite and present continuous. Laura tried to explain past and future tenses in even present and past perfect, but Mary didn't get them, and she can't use them. Mary's vocabulary is still at the elementary level. Mary is not satisfied with the results because she thinks that all the new grammar structures were presented in a chaotic way and no practice followed the presentation. So, lots of theory and poor practice. Laura, from the side of Laura, she didn't expect to have such a persistent student, and she didn't have program or materials, and after 6 months, she had nothing to offer to Mary. So yes, that is a sad story of a low efficiency. But Mary didn't give up. She started to look for a new teacher. She's been signed up to numerous English-related accounts on social media. You know, the short videos, don't say this, better say that, and many others. So finally, Mary decided to give it a try and signed up to a group course. She's been following an account of this teacher for so long that Mary knew what to expect. And the first lesson was for free, which is also a great strategy for all teachers, that's for sure. Mary's new teacher, let's name her Juliet, is the TEFL certified professional, and Mary is not her first student. Juliet has a structured course with the related materials for each lesson. If a student misses a lesson, Juliet emails a video recording of the lesson because all the information the student gained during the lesson is interlinked and connected. If you miss a brick, a construction will not be firm, and Juliet helps to build a firm English proficiency. Mary takes classes twice a week during a year, and finally she has achieved a confident B1 level. So, the last part of the story contains two main teacher strategies. The first one is that you must have your social media account as the teacher to demonstrate your competences. And the second one is that you should have your structured course for each level. Set a goal, a big one. What students will learn and what they will be able to do when they complete the level. Set a time frame. It is extremely important to set milestones so students have this satisfying feeling of achievement. It is important to tell the student that they will not learn a language within 2 months. It is a long journey. However, you should tell them that it is achievable. Inform them the number of hours they will need to complete the level and what competences they will gain when they get to this milestone. Encourage them to move on, emphasizing what a great progress they have made. Don't be afraid to tell your students that it requires 3 years of regular lessons to become fluent, moving from beginner level to confident upper intermediate. And that is your strategy on how to keep a student. In order to announce a number of hours, you should have a planned course. Every lesson is a brick and not a separate flying bubble. Find the best materials, prepare the best explanations, and suggest ideas on how to memorize new information. The next case is about teaching English to young learners. Do you know that the lesson price is much higher when it is about teaching children? The lessons are short, from 20 to 30 minutes, but the price is 2 or 3 times higher than when it is teaching basic levels to adults. The first thing you should explain to the parents of the learner that there wouldn't be immediate results. Again, it is a process of 2 or 3 years to feel the progress. A teacher for kids should be kind, funny, entertaining. You should understand the mood of a child and be like a psychologist. You should know kids' favorite toys, heroes, food, colors. Just become their friend, but at the same time be an adult whom a child can trust. It is all about your communicative skills. When you receive any message via online platform or your social media account or via your website, it is the very first test of your communicative skills. How you respond matters. Very often, teachers lose their potential students because of unclear messages. Create a procedure how a student starts learning with you. Present yourself and your program, offer to pass a placement test, and first 20 or 30 minutes for free to get to know each other. Set up rules for the payments, offering, for example, monthly packages, and set up as many convenient payment methods as possible, so not to lose a client when they are ready to pay but have issues to transfer your money. Amazon is so successful only because they set up a very convenient payment method. So you should do like Bezos and take care of this part of your business. If you are not a beginner but an experienced English teacher, you can get a profit preparing students to pass exams, for example, like IELTS. Usually, this course doesn't take long, from 1 to 2 months. You as a teacher explain the structure of the exam and train students with mock tests. Preparing students to this exam is rather profitable, so think about taking extra specialized course, not only TEFL and TESOL, but the advanced course on how to prepare students to IELTS. Investments are not high, but the profit is. I hope this video was helpful. Follow the link in description to download the 12-step checklist on how to increase English teachers' income. Wish you only the best, students.